You dropped 150 grand on a fucking education you could have got for $1.50 in late charges at the public library.
All right, so we're gonna start our late fee MBA. I don't know if you noticed on the last late fee MBA, I put the intro in. So I'm gonna start with an intro. When this video posts, you guys don't even watch these videos,
No.
so you don't know. But I'm gonna, but so 40
I'll
people
watch
watch it.
this one.
Yeah,
We're up to
people.
40 now.
Yeah, people watch it. Yeah, I mean, nobody. It's not like we're gonna be famous or anything, but okay, so this is on the Snowball system, and it's a sales book, How to Win More Business and Turn Clients into Raving Fans. And it's by this guy, Bunnell, right? And this is a book I chose. So first question is, did you guys read the whole thing?
No.
Yeah.
You did. Attaboy, Jorge.
It was fucking painful.
It was painful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on page 183.
183. That's middle. You got halfway through.
It's not quite.
Oh, I got it. Actually, no, that's toward the end.
2/3 maybe.
You have like 2 chapters left, 2 or 3 chapters left.
Yeah.
All right. I'm with you.
It goes
Nice.
to 67. So yeah.
All right, Jorge, why was it painful?
Not painful, but I definitely think that the book had like a lot of information in it. And I think it was just because we read the last book. What was it? How to Win and Influence People. It was
Yeah.
very similar as far as like sales. They picked up kind of like the same ideas. I like the closing chapters. I'll talk about it when we get there, but that was I enjoyed that part.
So what you're saying
Yeah.
is I should read the last 90 pages or whatever.
You absolutely should.
I like the
It might be the
conclusion.
best
That was
part
my
of it.
favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
Conclusion was
with
my
you.
favorite.
It
I
might be
like
the best part of the
lost.
book.
It was, I think somewhere in I think I started losing interest, exactly like you were saying, Jorge, in the get people to like you authentically. Yeah, because it was so similar from the previous book. I mean, I do feel like the previous book to this book, it flowed kind of nicely. You know, that kind of sets you up for doing some sales. But I started to lose interest in that chapter, and then continued to lose interest in the, turning prospects into clients, and then continued to lose interest. And so I just like totally ran out of steam in whatever I'm in right now,
Okay.
turning leads into clients.
Here's how I kept my interest up. And I have never, ever in my life read a book that is so valuable and so infuriating in my life. So he has great ideas, but he turns everything into a process, a methodical named process. And at the end of it, there's like 100 different names and processes that he's constantly referring to, right? And you just realize so the core idea is valuable. The core idea
Oh,
is
absolutely.
give to get, right? Like you should have an offering where when you engage with somebody, you give them something for free, but in return you ask for something from them, right?
Mhm.
And that idea is a brilliant idea, and we should definitely be doing it, right? For sure. But he then has like a 20-step program on give to get and exactly what that means and all your different options and everything. And I swear to God, I'm going to be vulgar here, but I'm pretty sure the way Bunnell makes love to his wife is he says, "Now remember, first we take a shower, and then second we make sure we put clean sheets on the bed, and third we pick our favorite playlist." It's like the same fucking process. He takes the like greatness out of the adventure out of everything by just making it procedural. And that's the part I didn't like. So what I do is I love his core idea, and some of his core ideas are absolutely, absolutely brilliant, right? Like here, I'm going to randomly pick one for you, right? Like he says, for big opportunities, it's critical to map out a long-term plan for a client the moment you kick off your first engagement, right? I literally did that today. Today, somebody paid me to talk about their data retention policy. And I said, well, if we're going to talk about data retention, I would really like to know where you see this organization technically in 5 years so that I can make sure I'm setting you up to that destination, right? Well, guess what the client said? I don't know. Like, well, would you like to know? Because we could talk about that. Yes, let's set up a series of meetings where we talk about where we're going to be in 5 years. I said, okay, because that will inform all of our other decisions, right?
Mm.
Now, look how quickly I went to what Mo Bunnell says is from a service provider to a strategic advisor, right?
Mm.
One question,
Yeah.
and now I'm a strategic advisor, and you know,
Thumbs up.
I know that we got to turn that off. So that idea is great, but then he belabors it with tons of different processes and how to do that. And
Yeah.
honestly, some of those processes might be good ideas, but man, it is rough to read.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it comes
it's
down to
also
like,
like it's very context, but he tries to like think of all of the contexts under which you might need to do this. If you're in a forest, do it this way. And if you're in a stream, do it this way. And it's like, no, just give me some general guidance, you know. It's really
Yeah,
it's too specific, you
I
know.
know why he has to break his audience into all these different categories because this guy is a straight analytical thinker. That's
Yes.
the only way he can think. So he has to remind himself to think other ways with an analytical method.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think the whole brilliance of the book is on like page, I don't know, 18 or what is it? Like yeah, 16 through 19 or
yeah,
whatever,
it's
right?
highlighted. It's highlighted for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Like where he says, you know, he talks about the cycle in the previous chapter about how you're scrambling to get clients and you get too many clients and you get too busy trying to get all the client stuff done and then you run out of work and then you scramble to get more clients and I've been in that cycle many, many times and so I totally get it. And it says just takes a little bit of effort at the beginning of the week and a little bit of effort at the end of the week and you pretty much, you know, this thing starts just snowballing. And I think that's brilliant. That is like as a core fundamental concept. I have not heard it talked about in other books, and it's easy to implement, and it's brilliant. Love it. Worth the price of the book just for those 3 pages.
yeah.
Um, there were a lot of cons for the book. You know, I think you talked about one about the procedure, just the sheer list of procedures that, you know, he tries to explain in detail. And it's like, oh, you know, it's just like slogging through it, right? We all,
The other con I find is he tries to bucketize things, like put things in quadrants and buckets. And I almost always disagree with the buckets.
yeah,
Like I'm like, these are not the buckets I
that.
would choose. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole brain thinking, that was like one of the worst ones. He tries to explain that there's a difference between an analytical thinker and a practical thinker. And there might be some small nuances between those two, right? But you know, I would say most people are both, right?
But then his core thought, I agree with, right? His core thought is like meet your audience where they're at and pay attention and listen to them and try to figure out where they're at and what they want. And that I don't necessarily agree with where he views people are at, but I do agree with the strategy, look for where they're at and find that and then meet them there. So if somebody's poking you with analysis, then meet them at the analysis. If somebody's poking you with dreaming, then meet them at the dreaming. But that could be the same person.
Yeah,
One person
exactly.
might be in an analytical mood and the next day they're in a dreaming mood, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that doesn't we don't need to like identify these people as so stringently, right?
yeah. And the whole idea, let's see, where was that? It was like 20 something. It was early on, right? Hang
Yeah.
on. Oh, here, yeah, 21. Yeah. So the whole brain thinking, actually, it's not there. Yeah, it's on the next page, 22 and 23. He's like, let me describe what a analytical thinker and a practical thinker and a relational thinker and an experimental thinker was. And so I tried to categorize myself and I couldn't. Julia tried to categorize herself. She
That's his
couldn't.
daughter.
Yeah,
Jorge.
my
He's got a
daughter.
daughter your age, almost your age,
Yeah, and
just a
she's
few years younger. She's 18,
yeah
19.
younger. Yeah, she's 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and then Chantal tried to categorize herself and she couldn't, right? So that, you know, that's clearly like a
I
failed.
did the same thing, Scott. I tried to categorize myself, and then I tried to categorize you and
Yeah.
try to categorize people I know. And I'm like, I don't see anybody clearly falling into any of these buckets that I know. Um,
I'll be honest, I completely forgot about that part. I read at the beginning, I left off to Spain, and then I came back. I was like, I should probably finish this book. Um, I definitely picked up more like towards the end,
it
but
shocks me that you forget it because he brings it up over and over again. So maybe like later on in the book, when let me show you, he starts putting tactics into grids like future vision, and he breaks
yeah.
it up into the same quadrants all the time.
What page is that one, Ike?
That's 216,
Ah, man, that makes sense.
217. Yeah. So
Nope.
he refers back to it a lot, but so it's hard when he refers back to it when you're like, I don't agree with these buckets, and now you're belaboring it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
um,
So just for my own benefit, what was valuable post the okay, so I guess I'm
well,
close to the end
once you
of
realize what you agree with and what you don't agree with, when he talks about like essential client tactics, like ask for advice, like things might not be going well or they are going well, ask your client to help you and give you advice. That is a phenomenal strategy. And that's on 222. Another strategy he says is if you want to be a trusted advisor, create a value group. Imagine this, like you and I know about construction and we know about maybe healthcare and we know about nursing care facilities. Like imagine if we started a focus group for San Diego nursing care facility technology executives, right? Like that is a very focused group of people. And there might only be 5 of them. But if we said once every 6 months, San Diego nursing care technology executives meet at our office, like that is a very focused group and it could be enormously valuable. Yeah, I definitely can see how that would create a customer of ours, right?
Mhm.
Um, so that was toward the end, last couple, last 50 pages of the book. And he just comes out of nowhere with that idea. And I'm like, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant idea. Um,
Just like I like the conclusion because he brings back like why even start a business or why even start anything. It's like starting with your why. Um, for him, I think it was like having this big picture, being successful, and then starting off small. What was it? It was think big, start small, and scale up. I believe
Mhm.
that was like
wh-
the big thing that he was talking
Yep.
about.
I
Yep.
look at, I'm 50 years old, and when people say, what's the secret of success, or how do you build a business? From what I've been able to observe, it is 2 things. It is one, being lucky. I mean, a lot of life is just being lucky. And two, it's a whole bunch of very small decisions, like a whole bunch of like doing the right thing a little at a time. Just like what Scott said, it's a little bit at the beginning of your week and a little bit at the end of your week. But you do that over 10 years, you're going to have a business, right? Like
Yep.
you don't have to go out and move the world all at once.
Yep. So, Jorge, you're saying I should read the conclusion, if nothing else. I should just skip to the end, read the conclusion, and then that'll kind of sum it up in my mind.
Yeah,
I have a
I
different
think
way of
so.
doing it. I have a different way of doing it. What I think you should do is from 183 or whatever page you're on, you
Uh,
should take the audiobook, put it on double speed, and sit and read it. It'll take you 2 hours to finish the book. And that double speed will let you burn through the procedure. And then once in a while, when he says something, you're like, oh, wait, pause, highlight that,
yeah.
Um,
I just the conclusion kind of sums up why I kind of had trouble reading the book. Like he's very like detail oriented and like you were saying, like this how you do this way, this how you do this way. The conclusion he pretty much it's called the snowball system for a reason. He talks about small successes eventually piling up and driving you forward, you know? Like it's very easy to, and this is something that I identified pretty much in school, just in myself. A lot of times I forget to celebrate my small successes, like not even feeling happy if you do well in something or graduating. It just kind of feels like it's what you're meant to do, and anything else kind of just feels like a failure. But he talks about writing down just weekly things you just did good at and stuff that you definitely need to get done for the next week. And it goes back to like the starting small idea. But throughout the book, it was kind of difficult to read for that exact reason, is he keeps hammering these ideas, but to him, that's how you start small and then you eventually work into something much bigger. So that's why I like the conclusion. It kind of like tied together all the ideas.
And one thing that he said toward the end of the book is he goes all many pages about pricing, and he has some, I think, excellent advice on pricing. He said never discount your price because it gives them the impression that it is discountable. But it's important for the customer to win something. So you can say, well, you're coming in higher, you're coming in 7% higher than the competition. The question he says to ask is not what's your budget, it's what's your target. Okay, what's the target here? And let's see what value we can deliver with that target. And then he says if they really need to like grind you and win something, you could say, okay, well, we're going to reduce it to meet your target, but in the end, you're going to help us write a case study. You're going to put a quote on our website. I know. You're going to introduce us to your CFO so that we can get other business units involved. Like he says, you don't ever just discount like that. You make them work for that discount, or and not even a discount because you're going to remove deliverables out of it. And the way he phrased that, he goes on page after page of example of it, but it was actually really good. I did like that part.
Where is that part?
I think you're right on it. I think
Oh.
it's like right around page 200.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So
Closing the book and
but
closing the deal.
yeah.
Yeah, that next chapter. Okay.
Um, and a lot of what he says, like he keeps talking about scaling up, like we're going to start a 100-person business, and I kept having to reduce it. I'm like, look, I just, I just want to keep 10 to 20 people busy. Like, it doesn't. If you want me to be a trusted advisor, I can't be a trusted advisor to 20 businesses. I can't because I won't. I'll forget the details.
Yeah.
Right. I can be a trusted advisor for like 5 businesses, maybe five, pretty much 3 for sure. But 4, 5 is
Adderall
stretching
would be
it.
running low.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I might be able to scale if all 5 of them are very similar. So if they're all construction companies, then I could be better at being an advisor for those
For
companies.
almost any construction company.
Right. That's right. Yep. Yep.
Did you guys sign up for the worksheets?
I did.
One of the things that was very Mo Bunnell, like, he would send you a video a day after you did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he's trying to provide value and build that relationship,
Except against his guidance, it's generic.
Yeah.
Like it's not custom to me. He doesn't know anything about me.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything about you, right? Exactly.
Right.
But anyway, it is like a touch point that gets you in the brain, like it's very systematic. How's that? Because he could have just sent you a link to the videos. Watch them at your own rate or whatever.
Right. Which honestly is what I would do.
Yeah.
I would still do it. I think that system is better than what he did. What he did was irritating. Like what I would do is say, hey, I made 10 videos, one in each chapter. Watch them whenever you want. Right. And then maybe in a couple weeks, I would say, hey, by the way, I made another video just now, go watch that. Right. But what he did once a day, I was like, come on, you're trickling this in, and I got to go look this up now.
Anyway,
it's like the thing he was talking about when he was shitting on cold college.
Yeah.
But yeah, when the same people are just calling like, oh, I'm trying to sell you something. I'm trying to sell you something. It's like, even though you might not be selling some, sometimes it's like being there all the time could just give off that, not feeling, but you get viewed as like being very needy or very, um, like you
Annoying.
want their attention. Annoying, yeah, lack of better words.
I
Yeah.
gotta say, Jorge, I am stoked you like this book or that you read the whole thing and that you got what you did out of it because one, I do see my suspicion is that your ultimate destiny is that you start a firm, um, and that you're a rainmaker for that firm. I think you're a born rainmaker. Like you
Hope so.
absolutely are going to kill at rainmaking.
What is this?
I just put fucking truffle in my rice right now. I gotta make a lot of money.
Um, and two, like, he's so procedural that I hope that you're going to forget everything by the time you need to know it. So I hope you remember the book and browse it, highlight it and browse it when you go to implement it.
Hope so. It's pretty cool. I definitely think it's one of those books that when you're in a time of maybe struggle or a little confused about what to do, you might like reach back into it. I don't think of it more as a book, it's more like a manual. That's the vibe I got out of it. Like
That's at a certain point in this book, I said, all right, now you're going to hate me. Nobody watches our podcast anyway. So what is this, 20 minutes in? No one's going to get here this far, so I can say whatever I want. So our one listener might be mad, but uh, I was like, I'm going to treat this book like the way Christians treat the Bible. I'm going to highlight the parts I like and ignore the parts I don't, and pull everything out of context and implement it.
Yep.
like having a Bible verse with in your Instagram bio right next to an OnlyFans link.
Yeah. When people say like this is the Bible of sales, what they mean is that every word is important, but really what Bible of sales means is that just pick and choose what you like.
Yeah. That's every book.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've yet to read
Yep.
a book, probably The Red Pyramid in sixth grade, the most inspiring book of all time. I just know I liked it, but I can't tell you fucking anything from it. But you just pick and choose what you like from each book.
I'm looking it up now. I don't know if I know it. Um, Red Pyramid.
Oh, it's a non-fictional book. I couldn't even tell you what it was about. I just remember I was kind of obsessed with them.
All right.
It's a
Well,
nonfiction?
Yeah, I
Because I
believe
definitely
so.
see a fiction book.
Or fiction, excuse me, fiction.
Oh, it's fiction. Oh, yeah. So it's a Rick Riordan. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
we've read him before.
Yeah, I read to my girls like the original Percy Jackson series, like when they were really young,
Oh
like
yeah.
Percy Jackson was good.
yeah.
All
Uh,
right. Well, do we have anything else we want to cover about the book, or does this wrap up the discussion?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think
All
that's
right.
it.
All right. What's our next book? Who's choosing the next? This was my pick. So
Thanks.
now you're going to do a startup book, you said, Scott. Do you have that
Yeah.
prepared?
Yes, I do.
Uh-oh.
Well,
That's backwards.
Yeah.
Venture
Venture
deals.
deals.
I
Okay.
don't know
Let
why
me
I
see the
don't have the
cover.
actual cover.
Oh, he lost the
Um,
cover.
I lost it somewhere. It was around here. Maybe over there. Oh yeah. Hold on one second. Be right back.
He always does this. Every single time we do something, he has
Actually,
to go
every time
run.
he gets his book, yeah.
Yeah, he
Well,
always has to do it. Yeah. All
well,
right.
it's the thing
Wait,
is,
go. Let me put it up there again. Let me read the subtitle. So it says, "Be smarter than your lawyer and venture capitalist." Oh, well, that sounds. Are you? What's the reviews on this? Let me see this book.
yeah, I got pretty good.
Did it?
Anyway, the reason why I picked it was I told you I had to have something to be able to learn this stuff. Because I'm currently under attack and I need to be able to, defend myself. But like the reason why I do that, I mean, you can see it already. Look there. Look at that. Books are flying. Look Like,
Holy shit.
You can see that pile there, right? God dang it, sorry. Like,
I don't know. It's a pile. Here, I'll just pull the pile up.
Product development flow, pragmatic thinking and learning, natural language processing with transformers. What are these the books you're supposed to read that you bought that you haven't read yet?
No, I've read some of all of them, but I'm
Some
in
of all of
various, I'm kind of like Naval Ravikant. I didn't realize how much I was like him, but I'm a lot like him. I leave books around and then I'm like, I don't know, got 5 minutes before a meeting. I'm like, okay, so I was here and I'm, blah, 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 blah. And then I just put it down somewhere and then I put it down right there. And then next time I'm in my bedroom when I need a little book, or I'm in the dining room when I need a little book, or I'm in the office. I have books everywhere.
So Venture Deals is in its fourth edition. Did you buy the fourth edition of it?
Yep.
You
Yes.
did. Okay. Okay. And what's funny is it's not a paperback. It's only hardback and Kindle and audiobook.
I know. That kind of sucked. And,
Um,
early on, I was doing everything just, Kindle and audiobook. But then, I don't know. I think it was the hard thing about hard things. I don't know. It was one of the books that we read that I was like, God, I really need this book to be able to scribble in it. And so then I started getting it all three ways, all the books, all the ways. So yeah, so that sucks. I know this is a little bit of a price bump. I mean, I have Snowball System, same way.
Me
That's
I
too.
have hard copy.
hard book. Yeah, hard
Yeah.
copy.
I like hard copy because I put them up there and they look nice.
Yeah, this is
Hard
I
copy
have a
sits
feeling this
nicely.
is gonna be another one of those. It's gonna be a struggle. Sorry.
You think, well, don't change our, hold off.
Yeah.
You're
Been
gonna,
5 minutes, Scott.
yeah, you're gonna influence us.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't want
Yeah.
to any bias.
Yeah, don't bias us. Yeah.